Welcome to the Girl Gang. I'm Katrina Gardner of Katrina and Create.
And I'm Dominique Goyette-Connerty of Evergreen Marketing. On this show, we're going to chat with women business owners in Massachusetts and those who support local women in business.
Because girls don't just want to have fun. They also want to sell real estate.
They want to open a brewery.
They want to teach others to invest in the stock market.
They want to take stunning photos, plan lavish parties, and help people recover from injuries. Girls just want a podcast. What can we say? We're girls.
Welcome to Girls Just Wanna.
Welcome back.
We're back.
We made it. So we did the intro episode, and we're here again. So I guess this is actually happening.
It is. And it's week 2. It's episode 2. We're excited. We're about to welcome our very first guest onto the show.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
What have you been up to since intro episode? I mean, have we gotten famous in the past week or what?
I've been up to trying not to die at home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok yesterday that said, I just want everyone to know I don't know a single person this week who's doing well. And I was like, well, I feel that in my soul. I was like, okay, that does make me feel better. Thank you, stranger from TikTok.
Okay. Yes, this week for me, I dropped my son off at school Monday morning. Within an hour, we were told to pick him up because he had a fever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we brought him home. He did sleep throughout the day. Wasn't feeling well. Tuesday, he was just like coughing all day. Didn't feel well. Kept him home. Wednesday, he went back to school. We got the call from the nurse again saying, please come pick up your son. He is coughing like crazy. Thursday, coughing like crazy. And at that point, I was functioning on like 4 hours of sleep total. I don't know. Just like, 4 hours of sleep each night because he just is very clingy when he is sick. So, yes, this week we've been sick. How about you? What's going on in your life?
What isn't going on in my life? I had a coffee meeting this morning. I'm so tired, which like is funny because you actually have a child to take care of and you get 4 hours of sleep. When I get 7 hours, I'm like, oh, it's so difficult. I'm a baby. I need at least 9 hours. I've just been so busy, honestly. I'm probably going to say that every week for the rest of eternity, but I've just been so busy with everything, with my business, with work, with kickboxing and personal stuff. And I'm trying to catch up on stuff because I'm going away in a little bit. And yeah, I had a coffee meeting this morning with one of our mutual friends that I'll tell you about later. And I literally just walked in at 9:30, walk up to the checkout counter, and I was like, hi, I will have the largest iced coffee that you offer. Thank you so much. So that's the vibe for this week.
Yeah.
And in general.
The vibe this week is surviving.
We're Yeah, we're not thriving yet. We're surviving. We can thrive later.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree.
Maybe. We'll try. The Taylor Swift documentary came out last week.
Did you watch it?
Yes. The Eras Tour concert. Yeah, I watched it on Disney Plus. 10 out of 10. Have you watched it yet?
I've been
slacking.
I've been too busy watching the Quiet on Set docuseries.
I was just telling you before we started shooting, I've seen nonstop clips of that on my TikTok feed.
It was rough.
Big yikes.
It was rough. Also, as like you and I are both marketing, like PR, backgrounds, it's been really interesting to see the dynamic of how things like this can sway public opinion on people regarding Drake Bell, which I don't know. You and I might not have been in the same era of like watching Nick and Disney.
Right.
But I loved like Drake and Josh.
I did too, yeah.
I
was probably just younger.
A few years ago, everyone hated Drake. He like got canceled and like
moved to
Spain. No, Mexico.
I definitely missed that whole thing.
Yeah.
I've been seeing those comments and I missed whatever that controversy was.
It was basically that he got in trouble for texting a minor, but he says it was just texting. She says it was assault, blah, 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 blah. Right. But, he was canceled. Everyone hated him. And now...
He's back now.
Now he's back.
And he's the hero.
Right. So it's been really interesting to see that through the lens of like PR and... but yeah, the docu-series has been devastating.
I bet.
Yeah.
In happier news, the Taylor Swift concert documentary, 12 out of 10.
Good.
Amazing.
Good.
You should definitely watch it on
My
Disney
sister
Plus.
wants to do a girls' night where we watch it.
I watched it with my friend Catherine. Shout out Catherine if you're listening, which you should be. Because you're a girl's girl. I went to her house and we watched it and we were waiting for Disney Plus to buffer and load our 3.5-hour movie. And it's like buffering. And we're just sitting there on the couch, 9:30 p.m. on a Friday. Taylor, just the two of us. Like as if we're ramping her up to come out. It was a lot of fun. We sang along the whole time. What a show.
Love it.
What a show. She's incredible.
I think I saw a TikTok where some group of friends did a watch party together and they came up with different cocktails for each era. So I think I'd like to do that.
Which is funny because she goes through the eras so quickly. Like she starts on Lover and she does 2 or 3 songs from Lover.
So maybe I'll do...
And then she moves... She only does like 2 or 3 songs from every album. So you'd be chugging a cocktail.
I'll do themed
every
shots.
10 minutes.
It'll just be a different...
a
purple shot.
You'll just be shit-faced by the end of the 3 hours. Because she has, what are we talking, 10 eras in this one concert?
Yeah.
Anyways.
So
it was really fun. She puts on a crazy, incredible show, and the production value is. I was looking at it and I was like, "Wow, what if our podcast looked like that?" No, I'm kidding. What if our podcast had a whole entire set, backup dancers? No,
I think you need to take a step back.
And then I reality checked myself.
Right.
Realized that we aren't billionaires.
Correct.
And we're not
Far
mega
from
pop
it.
stars. We're actually super broke. We're the complete opposite of a billionaire. Yeah, it was great. And also, I can't believe that she does this. I mean, the outfit changes are like 25 seconds, I swear to God.
Did you see that she trained by
Yes.
running?
Yes, and that's how I will eventually run a marathon.
Right.
I've already run the half marathon, so I think if I can do the entire Taylor Swift Eras Tour set list on a treadmill,
Yeah.
that'll definitely get me to 26.2 miles.
That sounds miserable to me.
But it's Taylor the whole time.
That is true.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still difficult, but
I think I'd rather just sit on the couch.
the one thing
with
I
the
was
music.
curious about the whole time is that in the 3+ hours of this show
experience.
I did not see her take a sip of water once. And like I said, the outfit changes in between each era are maybe 30 seconds backstage. Like, it's so quick. She must have a whole team that just, like, undresses her and redresses her.
You know what else is awesome is
I mean, I'm thirsty after just talking for 5 minutes, so I don't know how she did it for 3 hours.
You know, back a few years ago, I think around, like, the 1989 era when she was struggling with eating disorders and, like, not eating enough, and people noticed on her tours, and she's, like, super, super skinny, she would look visibly like exhausted, like she was going to pass out. And that's not happening anymore, like, because she trained, you know, she like did the strength training for this, but she's also like taking care of herself as a human, which is really lovely to see for our darling Taylor.
Yeah, we love you, Taylor.
Yeah.
And on that note, we love the girls just wanna, so we're super excited to bring in our first guest.
Yeah, do you want to?
It's a surprise.
Is it a big surprise?
I don't know, is it? We're going to cut to it in like 5 seconds, so I guess it's not that big of a surprise.
We're welcoming our mutual friend, Kat Aguilar, and she is the owner of Kommon Sense Co. She also does a
whole bunch of
things.
Stuff in the community.
Yeah.
Like all the things. So
she's a 40 under 40 winner.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's one of the things.
Yeah, she's just
amazing.
A delight. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're super excited to introduce you to her. We're so excited for her to be our first guest.
Yes.
And yeah, let's get right to it.
Let's do it.
Here we are, first guest. As
Welcome.
we promised. Welcome, Kat Aguilar.
We're so excited that you're here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Our very
feel
first guest.
Super honored to be our very first guest.
Yes, I am. I felt honored
one
just
and
being invited and then being the first guest. I'm like, oh, I'm so special.
We were like, there's only one woman for the job, and it's Kat.
Well, you know, it's like we're starting this podcast. We want it to be about women business owners, girls. And you're one of the first people that came to mind for both of us.
We did a whole brain dump list of like all the women like we know and we want to be able to talk to, and you were at like the top of the list. We were like, absolutely, get her in here.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have put makeup on. You guys are making me blush.
Well, tell the people, you're the owner of Kommon Sense Co.
Yes.
What is it?
I own Kommon Sense Co. It's short for Kommon Sense. And my main product is candles. So I take liquor bottles, wine bottles, cannabis jars, mason jars, salsa jars, pasta sauce jars, and we repurpose them into soy wax candles that not only smell good, but are super long lasting as well.
Love it.
I love them.
Super environmentally friendly. Is that where Kommon Sense comes from?
Yes. So Kommon Sense, I wanted you to like walk into our store or our shop online and just know everything is good for you, good for the environment. It's, I pay good money for the fragrance oils that we put in, so they don't have like any PBHs and all those like cancer producing chemicals that a lot of the cheap candles you get at Bath and Body Works and Walmart's have in them. So just letting y'all know all the carcinogens in them, bad for you, bad for your health, bad for your family, bad. These are great for you. Kommon Sense.
And the first plug of the episode.
And why did you start Kommon Sense?
So I actually started K-Sense because I had gotten fired from my corporate job recruiting. And at the time, I was reading this book called The Great Pivot. And it was written by a Harvard business student in 2010, talking about how by 2020, and I was reading it in 2019, every single big corporation would have to be environmentally friendly. Like they wouldn't be able to deny it anymore because of global warming, all the greenhouse gases, and just the world telling us like we're sick and tired of your shit. And it was really great reading it in 2019. It was like, I think it was springtime when I picked it up. I had gotten fired in July, and I was like researching. At the time, I was home a lot, and the only thing that like brought me like any type of happiness was my candles. So then I started like Googling, I think it was Etsy, it was like this, I could tell it was like a man in like his 40s making Jack Daniels candles.
Yeah.
Like very like in his garage vibe.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like this, but like I need to make it me in a way. And then it was funny because y'all are like branding queens. So I love that. Like we get to talk about like the behind the scenes of the name because I know y'all will appreciate it.
We love this.
I was like going back and forth with like the name because I knew like in my heart, I know that I wanted it to be bigger than just the candles and just me. Like I've always been very much like I want to bring other people in on it. So when I was going back and forth on the name, I was like, all right, K-Sense at first, like just the sense.
Yeah.
But that didn't feel right. I was like, no, it needs to be deeper than that. Like I want you to really think about it. So then the K-Sense came and I was like, I really, really like that. Senses, like your sense, your touch, like all the senses. And I was like, but I want it to be like extra. So then when I put together Kommon Sense, I was like, yeah, that's it. But it felt too long, like putting it on like all my socials and all that. So that's when we stuck with the K-Sense for like branding purposes. But yeah,
it's like dual meaning, like triple meaning. It's very creative of you. Yeah. Creative with a K, of course.
Yes. And then that's like how we've continued with the branding is like everything is with a K.
Yeah.
So our collaborations, K, community, K, all of it.
You also do a really great thing with your branding that I haven't noticed other people do where you always use the recycle emoji whenever you talk to me. And like I've caught on to that and it's part of your brand. And I think that that's so cool. And she just has like made that your own thing.
Yes, it's the recycle emoji because it's very similar to our logo.
Right.
Like our logo, so it says repurpose, reuse, reduce instead of recycling because recycling is low-key a sham. Unless you're doing it right.
And that's a different episode for you today. But yeah.
Dominique agrees.
I agree.
It really is, I live in Worcester, so in Worcester we get our recycling done by the city, and it goes to this place out in Auburn. And actually was able to tour it not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I learned glass in the entire like New England doesn't even get processed in New England. All of our glass gets sent down to it's either North Carolina or South Carolina because there's only like 3 or 4 plants in the entire country that actually repurpose glass. Damn. So even when we're recycling, it's not sustainable at all because so many of these systems are just lost.
Yeah.
Right. So,
but you recycle them like directly.
Yes.
You're like, let me drink this Corona and then make it into a candle.
Well, a lot of our stuff
Sorry,
gets
guys,
donated.
I need to go get more product.
Yes. Well, when people have parties or when I have a party or like I have some friends that are like bartenders or hostesses at restaurants and a lot of our stuff are donated. Like Tito's, I think Tito's is so it was in college, I drank too much vodka, so vodka and I do not get along. So like I would never drink Tito's.
Oh, I drink Tito's.
But like I love how like
good, you can be a contributor to the product.
Right. My mother-in-law loves Tito's so much. I should buy that for her.
Yeah, like I have a friend who loves Tito's, so typically for her birthday or Christmas, I'm making sure I set aside a candle for her. And like wine, I'm not a huge wine person either, but like the 90 Plus Cellars is actually a local brand. Like I think they're like out of Boston, and they have a cool wine truck, and they did an event, and they gave me like 100 bottles from that event of all the wine they just sold.
I'm such a ding dong. I forgot you have to push down.
Yes, the child protection.
Oh, I tried for like 5 minutes before we started recording. And I gave up.
I like was like, oh, it's just a candle, but I should have recognized.
So that's actually something I just started in November is repurposing the cannabis jars.
Yeah.
I am a very fond cannabis user, so I use them a lot myself. And then I also have a lot of people who will bring them to me too.
Yeah.
I
This
love
smells delightful.
salsa jars too, like your Tostitos
Yeah.
salsa,
Oh.
because they're nice wide, so
Yeah.
it's like easy for folks. Once it gets to the bottom, they burn a lot nicer.
Yeah.
But we'll repurpose garlic jars, like little ginger jars, a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
Did you have to go through like a learning curve for how to make the candles with like the right type of wax or like how many wicks or like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so the candle making itself is a little bit of a science. So a lot of it is weighed down. So even just how much fragrance to soy wax ratio.
Right.
So we do it based on, I guess it's the 10% of the whole product, which is the maximum you could do safely. So our candles are super, super strong, as you guys were just smelling right now.
So good.
But they're also very potent from start to finish. A lot of candles, especially cheaper ones, they're like great at the top. And then once you're like in the middle, you're like, wait, what was this? You can't really smell it anymore. Our candles are not like that. And even like these smaller ones, like if you were to put this in your bathroom and had the door closed, you'll always come in and smell it. It's very like potpourri almost. But even with the wicks, so we use, even down to the wicks, it's like recycled paper with a little bit of cotton. So it's like very clean burning, but they're different diameters of the strength. So depending the width of the bottle, it's 1 or 2 wicks, and a lot of testing. But now that I've been doing it for, we're going on 5 years now.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I was like realizing that today. I was like, wow, in August, she turns 5 years old. Like, wow, I have a 5-year-old.
Crazy.
But yeah, no, it's definitely like, it took a science. That first, I want to say like 2 to 3 months, I didn't really sell. It was really just testing out the theory, giving it to friends. Even though we have a really strong like fragrance load, I also, because they're very clean fragrances, they don't like give you a headache or anything like that. My mom, she's one of those people that are very sensitive to smells. She only wears one perfume because that's the only one that doesn't irritate her. She doesn't like candles. So she was always my test dummy. Like, Mom, I'm going to like this in the house. Let me know if like you get irritated at all. And she never would. And that's something that thankfully in 5 years, all of my feedback has been positive. So.
And you don't just make the candles yourself. I have personally attended, and I think you have as well, a candle making workshop of yours where we get to participate in it, which is so much fun.
Yeah. I actually really, really love the workshops because now you you get the experience of making your own product, and you have it at home. And a lot of the people who take the class are like, no, I don't want to burn it. It's so special.
I did the same thing. I posted an Instagram story around like Christmas, I think 2 years ago, right after I took your class. And it was like my tree and this other type of candle that was lit. And my cat was like sniffing it or whatever. And you swiped up on my Instagram story. You go, you got to burn your K-Sense one. Like, don't forget to trim the wick. And I was like, I'm saving it because it smells so good. Like, I don't want to light it yet.
Yeah.
We do offer refills, and like that's something sometimes I forget to mention, but that's like the third part to the candles. It's we'll refill them and you get a discount, and you'll get the discount forever, because our goal is that these glasses, these vessels never end up in your recycling or in your trash. Like if you don't want to recycle it as a candle, this is a great vase. You know what I mean? It's a great little planter. This is a great, like, you could clear this out, and this is actually a great glass just for drinking out of. You know what I mean? This is a child safe jar. You can reuse it.
Put your Tide Pods in it.
Definitely need some of those.
So like there's plenty of things, pencil holders, like makeup brush holders, like there's so many things we could reuse them for.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
Yeah. So you were at the Worcester Public Market. You had a physical, stand in there. You've since left, but you have exciting stuff coming up shortly.
Yes. Next weekend is our grand opening for our new store. Our new store is actually, I'm even more excited because it's not just our shop. It's a shop from another woman's business. Her name is Kiara Castillo, my business partner. Her brand is Made a Manos, which is kind of Spanglish for handmade. And she hand crochets clothing and accessories.
Wow.
And she like upcycles clothing too, which I love.
Let's get her on the pod.
Yes, yes. She's been having the store for almost 3 years now. But unfortunately her mother passed away almost 2 years ago now. And because of that, her mother was really like the driving force with her opening the store. She helped set it up. She was there like through all of it because they really renovated the space. And it's 65 Hamilton Street in Worcester.
Nice.
By the time this pod drops, we will be open, so check us out.
Yes, love it.
Come shop. But because of like losing her mother and everything, like she wasn't as creative. She wasn't able to be there, so she actually closed the shop for a little bit. And through healing and that journey, she reached out to me a few months back and was like, hey, like I really want to get your stuff in here. She had asked me prior when she had opened it originally, but I had my own store, so just at that time it was too much. So I was like, no, I can't. But now the time really worked out for both of us. Timing, the alignment, it's really, really there. So now we're opening up the store together in partnership where we'll have her crochet products, her clothing, her accessories, my candles. We're going to have my plants. So I have a green thumb, so I also bring plants in like bigger bottles, like the big jugs. Yeah. So we'll have some of that, and we have some new products that are launching. We can talk about it here because they'll be launched already. So we're doing like plant vases. And like flower vases, and we're doing drinkware, and we're doing a carafe drinking set out of wine bottles, like no labeling, very like minimalistic, clean looking. So that's going to be launching soon. So we're really excited about that. So we'll have that, and then we're also going to be doing like a consignment portion to the store. So we'll be bringing in a group of women-owned businesses as well. Yeah. So right now we have signed on Lily's Accessories, which is like handmade jewelry. She does a lot of like polymer clay jewelry and stuff. And then we are bringing in, I believe, a woman who like sews clothing and like repairs, and then we should be bringing in 1 or 2 artists. So it's kind of like we're going through all the motions of who's actually coming in right now. But we're really excited. It's gonna be like a little collective in the shop.
Yeah, that was like my idea.
Yeah.
When I had my embroidery like side hustle, which I stopped doing once I had my son because it was just, you can't have needles like laying around the house when you have a newborn. Just like priorities changed. But I had first named Colson and May like hand embroidered whatever I was doing, and then I like dropped the subtitle because I was like, I want it to be like how you were talking about naming K-Sense. I want it to be bigger with like collaborating with all these women and like having like a community. So that was the dream. So I'm glad that you are doing it.
Are fulfilling the dream. Yeah.
And I
to come shop.
Yeah.
Right. And then you never know. Like once, maybe once Jamie's bigger, you can get back into it, and then there'll be a space in the shop for you.
I know. I'll probably always be doing like something.
She is a crafty girl. So.
Yeah, once a crafty girl, it never goes away. Like, I didn't realize how crafty I was until like I started making the candles, and then I'll be in my yard and there's just like a random stick my dog finds. I'm like, oh, I wonder how we can like turn this into something. Yeah. A lot of the times I don't get to actually execute the thought, but like it's there. Yeah. Like it gets me going.
For sure. I know, I was trying like woven wall hangings for a while. Ooh. So, and I sold a few, and that was fun. And then again, it's just like, I don't know if it's ADHD. I don't think I have ADHD, but like always trying a new thing. Yeah.
And I dive in. Like I bought a Cricut. I wouldn't even
We have to talk about that separately.
Oh yeah, we could talk about that.
Call me sometime.
Like you have one?
I bought one, haven't opened it yet.
Oh.
And I'm like so eager to do it, but I'm like intimidated.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
Mine like sat first. I had to repair it. We'll talk about it later.
Whatever.
So one of the things that I tried once was candle making. And it was just like, what am I going to do for Christmas gifts or something? And I was like, I'll make everyone candles. It was so hard. Like,
so props to you.
I was like, I don't even know if they burned well. Like, they were full of, like, all these, like, air pockets and stuff, you know. The scents, like, I bought, like, essential oils off of Amazon. They, like, weren't good. You know, like.
It's the thought that counts, though. And, like, sometimes even, like, with the candle workshops, like, someone had questioned me, like, why are you doing that? You're giving everyone the secrets. And I'm like, no, not really. Like, the secret sauce is me and, like, my personality and, like, everything behind it.
Yes.
You know?
The secret sauce is you. Own it. Claim it. I love that.
Gonna trademark it.
Yes.
It's probably already out there.
Put it on a shirt.
Oh, put on a shirt. Put on some merch. That's what I really got to do.
I love
start
that.
making some merch.
I love that.
But no, I'm not afraid of like learning or teaching people what I know, because a lot of what I learned from someone else. Like the whole candle making journey, 95% of what I know I learned on Facebook groups with like sweet older women who just do it as a hobby.
Right.
And they're just like, yeah, no girl, like it's this, use this instead of that. Like whatever it may be, use this wick with this container or whatever. Or this company has this fragrance a lot better than this one, or whatever it may be. Or YouTube University. Like I learned so much, especially I also like gotta like put myself out there. I do my website, I do my marketing. A lot of like our product photography is done by me. It's very much almost a one-woman show. I get help seasonally, so I'll take in interns. I've done like a gap year internship program. Called Dynamy. I've taken in college groups who are like doing consulting projects and stuff to help like grow and expand. I've had part-time employees like very seasonally. So the journey has been interesting, but all of the things on my website I've learned and have done through YouTube.
Yeah.
And like the coding I learned back in the MySpace days.
Same girl.
So we have a few minutes left here, and we've talked so much about the candle business, but as we know, girls just want to do all the things. So you don't just own a business. You are very generous with your time and volunteer in the community so much, and you're just like so exceptional. Tell us about all the different things real quick that you do with other groups.
Yeah. So on top of being K-Sense CEO, I'm also the vice president for the Young Professional Women's Association of Worcester.
Shout out,
which Katrina was president of last year, and she did a great job. So that's where we kind of started our relationship. And Dominique is a member, so YPWA power up in here, ladies.
Yeah,
representing. So if you're looking for a girl group, come join us.
Yeah.
And also next season, I will also be the president. And I believe I'm the first Latina president of YPWA. So I'm really excited for that. You know, diversity, we're growing, we're expanding. We're about it. Yeah. So I love that. I'm also on the board for the League of Women Voters in the Worcester area, and I am the I'm the chair of the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accountability Committee. So I do all the DEI work there, and I'm also helping them update their website because it's on a system I didn't even know existed. And I'm also the community engagement director / admin person for Pride Worcester. And then I have 4 dogs and my family. So yes.
Just
all the things.
Full-time
You're
gig.
Not busy at all.
No.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is you're just chilling.
Yeah.
All the time. Just hanging out.
I love that. And we should say too, I think it's been 2 years now, but you are a proud recipient of Worcester Business Journal's 40 Under 40.
Yeah.
Way before you turned 40. So
yes. Still in my 20s.
Yeah, girl.
I'm in my 20s for 2 more weeks. So I'm in that.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Aries season. I'm in that, like, most of the time I'm really excited because I feel like I've done a lot in the past 5 years of my 20s, you know, starting this when I was 25. And I'm excited for 30s, but then I'm also like, I just want to, like, be young and have everyone be like, oh, she's young, so who cares?
Oh, please, you are young. Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, it has been an absolute delight having you as our first ever guest. Woot, woot. We'll memorialize it in some way. Is there anything else you want to mention before we wrap this up?
Come shop, K-Sense, 65 Hamilton Street in Worcester. Also support all of the nonprofits I'm a part of. If you're looking to join any of these organizations, you know, if you're interested in supporting the queers, the she's, the theys, everybody, I have a job for you, or I know someone who can use you.
Nice.
Reach out. And also, just reach out. I love building community. I love collaborating. I love, if I can't help you in one way or another, I probably know somebody that can. So
there is actually one more thing we wanted to get to. We're planning on, and you're our first guest, so let's trial it. We're planning on asking every guest that we have on, you know, the whole point of the show is supporting other women-owned businesses and supporting other women in business. And we want to hear from everybody, other women-owned businesses that you support as a woman-owned business.
Yes.
And so you've already mentioned a couple that you're partnering with. But, you know, does anyone come to mind that you want to do a quick shout out for?
Yes. I would have to shout out first my partner again, Kiara Castillo at Made of Manos. So I hope y'all reach out to her soon. But I would also love to shout out my Salvadorian sister, Susan Rivas. She's the owner of Lush Studio. That is right on Southbridge Street next to the Hanover. It's a day spa. They do waxing. They do facials, they do like body, there's a lot of stuff going on. They have a lot of cool things. I just get my waxing done there, but I'm not that bougie, as you can tell. But I know some of y'all are, so go. They're really great.
Love that.
Sign me up.
Yeah, no, they're great. I love all of her girls. They're so sweet. The space is like nice and relaxing, and it's convenient being in downtown. So
Yeah. Amazing.
All right. Well, let's put a bow on it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
thank y'all for having me.
We're so happy to have you. And, you know, come back anytime.
Anytime.
We'll come shop too.
Yeah.
All right. That was it for our first ever guest episode. Drop some comments, some likes, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. Obviously, we're going to link to everything that Kat does in the show notes, so you can follow her and support her as well, which is, you know, the name of the game. This is the Girls Just Want a Show. So we will see you next week.
Are you ready
Sure.
for Heart It or Hate It?
Welcome back to Heart It or Hate It, our favorite segment.
We love this segment.
Besides the whole part where we talk to women-owned businesses, which is the purpose of the show.
We're actually obsessed with ourselves, which is a big problem.
Katrina was watching back our first episode, and we were like, you know, like giving feedback, like, you know, what do we like, what do we don't like, what do we want to improve on? And Katrina's like, honestly, I'm so vain, and I think we did amazing. Like, I love the way I look and sound. So I was like, yes, we love that for you. So yeah, we're so vain. We probably think this podcast is about us. It's not. Okay, Heart It or Hate It. Rapid fire. We're going to get even quicker this time. Random shit that we either love or hate. Ready?
I'm ready.
I'll get you started. Red receipts.
Hate it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're in agreement. That's
Okay.
surprising.
Yeah.
I think, do you have your red receipts on iMessage?
Do I?
I think you
Do I?
Oops.
Oh, no.
I think you do.
Oh, I need to turn that off. I think maybe I did turn it on once as like a...
Maybe you
Oh,
don't.
I can let my clients know, like, you know, let me be available. Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
That was 4 years ago.
I used to have them on all the time, and my my reasoning was that I wanted people to know when I was ignoring them. Like, people are like, oh, I don't want to read it, and then like people think I'm ignoring. No, I do want to read it and like make it very clear that I am ignoring this.
Well, you know what you can do for that without the red receipts is just the thumbs up emoji. Like, that's... Anyway, hate it.
Yeah, and mine are off now, so
I'm gonna check
because I actually don't want a phone anymore. I don't want people to text me at all. Don't text me.
Do not disturb.
Okay.
Heart it or hate it, business expos.
Hate it, I guess. We went to one last year.
Yeah.
We've actually been to a couple together, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Not my thing. I guess if it works for you and your business, like, that's cool. Just not my scene.
I think I heart it.
Oh, okay. Poor Kay.
I know. I just like getting out of the house and like, again, I'm very vain and I like feeling like a very important person. And when I'm at like expos and stuff and I get to like get dressed up and look nice, it like just...
Okay, but you do realize you can just, you know, get dressed up, look nice, and leave your house for things that aren't work related, right? Just out of curiosity.
Well, also, like,
we could just get dressed up and go get drinks.
I don't think I'm great at expoing professionally. Like, I never come home with like anything substantial that I can use.
You're talking about visiting as like an attendee, or you're talking about being a business
Visiting
that's
as an attendee.
okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you've come home from expos with, like, deals with, like, software partners.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did do that.
Yeah.
The one that I'm thinking of,
I just go for the vibes. I'm like,
well, remember too that the same one that we were at that day, I got a giant, was it a cookie? A black and white cookie?
Yes.
At like 10 o'clock in the morning. I was starving. We drove to Boston. It was a whole thing. And then
I got us lost a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. And then
I got people really mad at me in the parking garage.
Yeah. What else is new? Girls just want to drive in circles. Leave us alone. Yeah, I got a giant ass cookie.
Yep.
And I was like, second breakfast? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that part was fun. I guess I could heart that.
Okay.
What else do we got? Okay, let me hit you with random shotgunning a beer.
Hate it.
Yeah, I'm going to go hate it.
I mean, I've never done it.
Okay, so the reason that this is on the list, the reason this popped into my head so randomly was a couple weeks ago we were doing a goodbye party for someone at the kickboxing gym. And we shotgunned beers, and it was my first time.
How'd it go?
I mean, like, I survived college without shotgunning a beer, and now here I am, 25, and I was like, okay, I guess someone's going to teach me how to do this. I'm going to let you guys know. Not my favorite way to drink a beer. Like, I like beer.
Yeah.
I would just prefer to sip on it. I don't know. Just drink it like a normal drink.
Is there an age limit to shotgunning a beer? Like,
I don't know. I would say don't do it now.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
Yeah. I don't think I have an interest.
So I guess hate it. I didn't like hate it, but I don't love it. That's for sure. So it's a no from me.
It's a no.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
All right.
Next.
Next is you. What do you got?
Heart it or hate it. Hairless cats.
I'm gonna go hate it. I'm sorry. I love cats. It's creepy, man.
I heart them.
You do?
Yeah.
You should get one. Pippin needs a friend.
I know. I was going to say, I don't know if a hairless cat would have enough protection against Pippin, but it's not like the fur is protection anyway.
Right. That's true.
No, there's this woman that I follow on TikTok, and she has a hairless cat, and it's just so cute. But especially when they're like little kittens, and they look like Dobby from Harry Potter, and they're just like weird looking. I know. I like pugs for the same reason. Like, they're just like, they've got their squished faces, and they're just like so ugly that they're cute.
Yeah. I think it's, once again, just like not really my scene. Not my vibe. I like my 2 little kittens with lots of fur.
I'll get a hairless cat someday.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
You do you, sis. All right. I think that's it.
There we have it.
Heart it or hate it. Episode 3. Thank you so much for indulging us this long, if you've lasted. Come back again next week, because we'll do it all over again. Another guest, another heart it or hate it segment.
Yep.
More time with your pals, Katrina and Dominique.
You're very vain.
Self-obsessed. And cue, you're so vain. You probably think this song is...
And we're done.
Scene. All right. So follow us on Instagram, subscribe, do the things, and we will see you next week. Later, ladies. Later, ladies.